So hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be talking about AI. I promise it won't be doomsday, and we won't be talking about how we'll all be replaced by machines within the next 5 years, or how there's an AI technology on the market that's going to double your revenue overnight. No, today we're going to be delving beyond the hype. We're going to talk about what's really working in the market and where there are still limitations and room for improvement. A 2024 report by McKinsey stated that 70% of e-commerce leaders see AI as a priority, yet less than 1 in 5 feel like they can use AI tools effectively. In 2030, AI e-commerce tech is set to hit 40 billion, with tools such as search, automation, and pricing technologies contributing towards this number. That's why we're here, to delve into the trenches. We've got a fantastic lineup of panelists, from platform to a retailer to agency side as well, to really see what's working and really see where you should be investing both time and money, with practical examples throughout. So let's kick off with a round of introductions. So yes, thank you for joining. My name is Mairead and I'll be your host for today. I'm from a company called Athos Commerce, which emerged in 2025 following the accumulation of SearchSpring, Klaviyo, and Intelligent Reach to form a best-in-class product discovery experience through off-site feed optimization, connecting with social channels, marketplaces, etc., and best-in-class on-site discovery experience through smart search, smart recommendations, and merchandising as well. With that, I will hand over to my first panelist, John.
Hey, everyone. So I'm John James from JLR. I'm the collections lead. So for collections, read lifestyle, branded goods, or merchandise, all of which we've been renamed in the last 8 years, at least since I've been with the team. So that's anything from, it's non-vehicle, accessories or not dealer fit parts. So we're talking caps, apparel, luggage, stationery, and this lovely jacket that I'm wearing.
Gorgeous.
Chosen specifically. So this actually is a men's London collection Range Rover jacket, which we launched back in February. So anyway, I help manage the website for our collections platform across JLR. It's nothing to do with vehicles, in case there's anyone got any vehicle related question.
All problems.
Yeah, whole of the team.
Over to you, Martin.
Hi, I'm Martin Sterling. I come from development background. Usually work for the agencies, works on the client sides as well. Working with Magento for over 10 years and seen it all really, all the hypes and all the emerging technologies and what worked, what didn't work. So I work for The Bright, which is another UK digital agency. So yeah, hopefully I can provide you with some insights.
Hey everybody, I'm Andre. I work at Adobe. I look after a post-sales team, and we look after about 600 merchants in the UK and Ireland. And about 80% of those merchants are on Adobe Commerce today. I've been with Adobe now for 7 years. So I was Orange before, and then moved over to Adobe, now wearing the red. So hopefully I can give you a bit of perspective on what some of my merchants are talking to me about.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today. So let's dig in. John, over to you first. Where are you seeing practical traction with AI tools at the moment?
So, hands up, as our collections team, we're quite probably in our infancy a little bit in terms of AI usage, but where we've had real traction actually is using Klaviyo in our search on the website, alongside a couple of other tools which help us with our content generation. So talking anything from like product copy, email campaigns, and more recently helping us with accessibility standards. So yeah.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, we've loved working with you guys in the team. I know that we work across a number of your sites, but as you mentioned, like still in its infancy, always kind of room to improve.
100%, yeah.
So, Andre, from your perspective, are you seeing that retailers are kind of delving straight into AI? Are they ahead of the curve? Are they lagging behind? What are you seeing in the market today?
I think with Adobe Commerce anyway, we've got obviously product recs and live search, and then there's some catalog changes that are coming in. I would still say it's still in its infancy, so I think people are trying to use it, but a lot of merchants I speak to expect it to produce amazing results just from a click of the button, but we're not quite there yet. But I'd say, yeah, in our infancy at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's super important, like managing kind of expectations and assumptions around what AI can bring you and what you're ultimately kind of able to achieve. So I think, Marcin, over to you. What assumptions would you say people are getting wrong when it comes to AI?
Yeah, obviously AI right now it's another hype word, and we've seen it in the past. It's keep repeating in technology. Some new technology emerges, and everyone is jumping on it and trying to adopt. Obviously, the early adopters, I think, those who's going to spend too much money and they're going to burn themselves, trying to understand, what is it, how to use it. But I think the biggest mistake, obviously, we don't have much time to discuss it in detail, but I think the biggest mistake is actually overthinking AI, because AIs keep changing every day. When you pop up the news, you'll see, all those big companies and small companies competing with each other. New technologies emerging, new models emerging daily, some new trends. And actually, it's not possible to strategize over 12 years. So if you're a company and you're trying to plan, yes, we're going to adopt AI, it's going to take us 12 months. This is what we're going to do. The moment you're going to start working, you're already outdated. So I think this is the biggest, mistake. Instead of trying to, overthinking AI, start small, take a small steps, implement small things, see what works for you, and measure the success and keep going.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think starting small allows you to see what tools are working and where you're actually making like incremental improvements or gains. So in terms of then going on to like what AI projects you've worked on that have worked well and have actually kind of built transformation, like it would be good if you can go over some of those for us.
Absolutely. So I come, as I said, from developer background. I'm helping merchants to implement the AI tools, as you mentioned at the very beginning, like, predictive search, recommendations, and this kind of tools. But what I wanted to quickly mention about is obviously the ground workers. So developers who are actually day-to-day developing with Magento. And I want to say that AI should become the companion, and employees or companies, they shouldn't be thinking, how many developers we can actually let go and replace them with AI, because this is not what about. AI is to help and give another tools to developers in the daily life. So stuff like, you can think about it as a peer developer. So you got someone who is working with you all day. You can bounce off some ideas of it. You can check your code. Maybe you can ask for some recommendation. How would I approach this and that? Maybe you want to write a summary of the ticket you worked on, and so this kind of stuff. And I think that's the misconception which is happening right now. So I would say the first thing any merchant can do and work with the development team is to try to implement AI in the development to actually speed up the work and improve the quality.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I was up until 11 o'clock last night asking ChatGPT, which is the funniest opening line, and it didn't get as many laughs. So the AI definitely got it wrong today. But in terms of kind of, I guess, then talking more about the projects and how you need to work on it together and you need this human intervention, like where have you seen, Marcin, like AI kind of backfire or fail?
Yeah, I think this is the misconception happening right now. So a couple of years earlier, there was a trend, whatever project you're working on, just stick blockchain on it. And you've seen tons of projects with added blockchain capabilities, but, no one actually knew why, but it was so trendy, and, all the investors were jumping on it because it was a blockchain. So very similar hype is happening right now with AI. And I think it's great because it's fueling, billions and billions of dollars and pounds into industry, which improves the growth. But the main problem is that misconception that AI is the, silver bullet. It's going to solve all the problems. We're just going to stick AI onto it and it's going to magically happen. And I'm not talking only about development. I'm talking about, companies who are just trying to stick as many, AI tools into the website and suddenly, they see, problems rather than, return of investment. So I think this is what's happening and that should be avoided.
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI is obviously complex and like lots of people need to be brought into the discussion. So Andre, over to you. Do you have anything to add around the complexities you see with retailers that you work with when they're looking to like utilize AI solutions?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges I talk to customers about is a little bit alluding to my point earlier is they expect when you put on live search or you put on product merchandising that you're going to load it up and it's going to produce all of the results that you want to see and it's going to drive conversion. But I still think you need to have some kind of fail-safe or tracking to make sure that whatever recommendation is being presented, it's actually suitable for your business. So a really common example I guess I talk to people about is there'll be a sales period that comes up and somebody will randomly buy 40 of a completely different product. And all of a sudden that product is getting pushed to the top of a product page, which is supposed to be like a Halloween campaign. And this will be, I don't know, chopsticks or something that's being recommended. And the customer saying, why is this being shown? And so that's an example where AI is doing what you kind of want it to do because it's pushing something that's sold. But actually that's not the business objective during that period. You want to make sure you're pushing the products that got higher margin, that are going to sell over that time that you're ultimately trying to push. So I think it still needs manual intervention at this stage. And I think it always will, because ultimately it will depend what the business is trying to achieve with the tools that they're trying to implement and use.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like Athos Commerce, we see from a search perspective, it should be automated because if someone's making a query, the most important part is that it's relevant and you're being delivered the kind of relevant results, which is based on kind of NLP, based on AI, etc. But we are seeing like more and more of a desire for kind of manual curation when it comes to merchandising, especially if you want to merchandise for different segments, different locations, etc. I think it's key. And I think a lot of the time the question we're asked is like, as a kind of third-party technology solution, is like, what's the ROI? What are the kind of increasing conversions that we're going to get? Which is obviously completely understandable. But John, for you, is implementing AI solutions only about like increasing conversions and driving growth, or is it time saving, or is it efficiency, or is it a combination of kind of all of the above?
So yeah, for JLR, it's a combination, I'd suggest. So both in our collection team and as a wider organization, we talk a lot about people love. And what I mean by that is both externally, whether that's clients, or internally, whether that's suppliers, agencies, or employees. It means being able to be your authentic self. And I suppose to that point, AI can assist because it allows you to remove, in some instances, some of the mundane but maybe vital stuff. So you've got more time to focus on value-added activities or creative thinking or mindfulness and well-being, which is super important. So yeah, from that perspective, from that perspective, it's a good thing to do in terms of people. From a growth driving perspective. It sort of is more or less, it goes hand in hand, I'd say. Yeah.
Perfect. I think bringing the team on the journey of AI is super crucial. So if we just pivot a bit then to kind of, I guess, where you got started, kind of from an AI perspective. So what were kind of some of the tools that you looked to implement? And then I guess, what were the types of teams that you involved? So was it just e-commerce? Was it operations? Was it the tech team? Like, how do you kind of bring everyone together, and who should be on the AI journey with you?
Yeah, so from the outset, we knew it needs input from all departments. Like, selfishly, I suppose I'd like just the e-commerce team to be in control, because then you've got complete accountability for decision making and stuff. But then if you don't have input from other departments, you get examples like Andre just mentioned where, hang on a minute, why is that showing on the website? Oh, well, it's because we put it into AI to do this and we're getting Y. So from that perspective, I wouldn't, I think that's what's important. I've forgotten what was.
And then how do you go about starting
Starting.
using AI?
Oh,
and
sorry.
why do you
Yeah.
know people? Yeah. How did you know you needed it?
So we knew we needed it from a resource perspective. That's the main reason. So relatively recently, we've gone through a few organizational restructures, and that has meant, unfortunately, that we've not been able to get the time with people that we need to get the assets that we need to push content or get decisions. So using AI, or proposing we're using AI, we took some of the information and, I suppose, stress for delivering away from the marketing teams, kept it in house, and then due to the various layers of approvals and amends that go through, we've reduced sort of content requirements and management from like weeks to days.
Amazing.
So as well as the time saving from that perspective, also it's made us super efficient.
Fantastic. And Martin, from your perspective, obviously working at an agency, kind of with multiple kind of retailers to draw upon. So what would you say to someone that's starting, embarking on their kind of AI journey, and what their kind of first step should be?
Yeah, so I personally think that the first step for anyone who's interested in AI is education. And I've seen it everywhere that everyone jumps on it, but no one actually understands how it works, what's going on there. They treat it as, I'm going to input something, I'm going to get something, I'm going to stick it somewhere. It's definitely not working. I want to give you some giveaways because I've spent hours and hours of research preparing for this talk, preparing for writing my book about AI development. I wanted to find something really good and something maybe you haven't found, and it's for people on different level, because obviously as developers we look for different information. Store merchants, they're looking for something else. Maybe managers, they're looking for something else. So I found like 3 amazing resources. So the first one I found is Mary Mika. I don't know if you've seen that report. It's from a company called Bond. It's, I think, 341 pages, and it's I think the most accurate you can get state of AI, what is happening right now on the market, with all the numbers, all the graphs, all the money spent, where the money is going, how much it actually costs to run it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So I can recommend that one. Another resource is recently published by Google, because Google is right now, stepping up the game in AI. So I strongly recommend looking into them. And they published a real life, I think 601 real life use cases for AI. And it's not just, selling the dream like AI could do this and that. It's actually categorized by the industry. So you can check from your industry what's happening there, and then different type of implementation. So you can go there and check exactly which company is using Google AI, which products, and what they're doing with it. It's a great starting point for your company to check, okay, others are actually successfully doing it. Maybe we should be looking into that one as well. And the last resource I prepared is I think by Riley Brown. You can find him on YouTube. It's called 6 Steps to Master AI. It's 2-hour long video. And I promise you, if you're going to watch it really carefully, you're going to step up your game and be ahead of, the rest who are, even if they use AI on daily basis. It's very comprehensive guide about how to use AI on daily basis. He explains in greater detail, all the icons, all the buttons, what they do, why they are there, and all of that. So that's what I would say. And also I wanted to repeat what I said earlier. Start small. Don't go crazy. Don't try to replace everything with AI, because that's going to definitely backfire to you.
Yeah, definitely. And when would you invest that? When would you think about, if someone should look to build that Martin themselves, or look to partners? Like, how do you
Yeah, that's a great question, because some companies they try to build everything themselves. So they think, okay, we've got AI right now, so maybe we can host it. we're going to do it, we're going to train it. And then they realize actually it costs, millions of dollars, and you need super powerful servers. You need to pay for it. You don't know actually how to train the model correctly. So I think for the majority of the companies, unless there's a valid points, they should partner first and look for the companies who are doing it already, and partner with them to implement the AI tools. So instead of doing everything yourself, look for the market leaders and work with them on your solutions.
Yeah, that's definitely something I think I've seen a lot over the past 7 years, is like, maybe we should invest and build this ourselves. But then if you think about the ongoing maintenance and how fast everything is evolving, I think people have specialisms, and I think kind of looking into those is important. So Andre, over to you. Is there anything that you would say to kind of retailers who maybe haven't started on their AI journey or are just like embarking upon it? Any advice you'd give them?
I'd start with why they want to use it. What's the objective? What's the business asking for to implement this stuff? My personal opinion is until you're doing, between 5 to 10 million, some of these additional tools that you kind of plug into your main commerce funnel, you need to really think about what added value you're getting for the license cost you're paying to a provider to do some of this stuff. So obviously Adobe have got tools that we can sell or you can implement that will support some of this type of stuff. But again, what's the reason and what are you trying to achieve from putting these things in is where I would always start. And sometimes customers will come to me and say, you don't need to do that, you don't need to buy that yet, because you're not quite at that level or that measure where this becomes valuable for you. And ultimately those are the conversations I have. It's like, are you getting value from the investment you're putting in, and is that going to drive your business objectives forwards? And if the answer is no to either those, then it's wait.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think sometimes, like with all of the buzzwords and acronyms within e-commerce, like I think AI has got its place now. I think personalization was maybe a couple of years before, and I think as an organization, it's like, everyone's talking about AI or personalization, like let's jump on the bandwagon. But I think sometimes what can be lost is real like business requirements gathering, and what you were saying, like, why are we doing this? What tools should we be selecting based upon these requirements?
And also your business, because if you have a small gap, I'd argue if you've only got 50 products or 100 products, do you really need AI to help you, with your merchandising? You should hopefully have somebody that would help make decisions for you to do that. Obviously, if you have a huge catalog, that type of work to merchandise a huge catalog, you probably need some assistance. So there's obviously a use case for that as well.
Absolutely. And then John, with all the hype and the buzzwords that are continuously emerging within the market, like how do you as an organization go about like keeping up to date with the trends, and like what does, I guess, the selection process look like?
So outside of the collections team, there's a team sole responsibility is to triage any and all AI requests or requests for use of AI throughout the business. That's not, so it could be from our team, could be from anywhere, vehicle related as well. And what happens with that is it could be as basic as my team spend loads of time preparing decks. Is there anything that AI can support with this? Or my team does X and we get by using Y. Is there something better we can do? Firstly, to both these guys' points, the team will be like, well, actually, if with a bit more training on some existing software we've got in-house already, you probably can get by without AI. So there's that layer first. And then it's going through a hopper funnel where all the requests get put in. That's then triaged against business priorities and how high up the list of importance it is within business objectives. Once that's been refined, there's then I think it's a weekly get together where the teams focus on the next highest one in the list. Once your case gets to the top, the team will then go externally or internally, as Martin said, and speak to the experts first before sort of doing these things themselves. That's we've got quite a big sort of governance process behind getting on board with AI, and if we actually use it for what relevant business requirements are.
Absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think the governance point is important. So, Martin, would you say if there's anything that kind of, I guess, retailers should be wary of when looking at kind of implementing AI?
Absolutely. So I actually think that there are like two major problems with AI right now. And, when jumping on this wagon, as you mentioned, you should be looking at. So the first one is privacy and security, because sometimes, what happens is the merchants, they purchase some new shiny AI tool, they stick it on the shop, and, then we have a serious problem. And one of the examples I can give you is the super simple, it's chatbot. It's so popular right now. So you just install a snippet, you connect the chatbot to your store. It knows everything about your products, your knowledge base, and chatbot is actually talking to your customers. And there was documented already a couple breaches where the chatbot was revealing some embargo information. Chatbot was giving away some discounts where it shouldn't, or automated agents were refunding customers without any reason. So obviously you don't want that. So you need some kind of governance, as you mentioned, John. You need to have this, bug gate to stop. So any tool is just a tool, really. At the end, any tool needs to be tested, checked, penetration tested, check if it's secure enough, if it's not revealing, too much information, gatekeep it. Also, when talking about security, talking from the developer perspective, some developers will use the AI as a, Stack Overflow, copy paste type of thing. Like, I want this, can you write me a code? I will copy paste and push it to production. And, tomorrow the website is down, or, you go to, some, card readers installed on your website. So, you can't just blindly trust that AI will do the job for you. You definitely need to check the output. I think every AI model right now or agent, they tell you, don't trust the output. AI will make a mistake. So don't think it's a kind of, deity creature which knows everything and will check everything for you, unless you specifically, prompt it. So that's one thing. And the second thing I wanted to mention is hallucinations, which that happens, I think, everywhere. So John, probably you've seen that in your area as well, where, for example, if you want to, create a product descriptions, AI can start producing, product descriptions which are not accurate. So if you think about apparel, it might start, produce some, different sizes or wrong sizes, or maybe this apparel doesn't exist in this color. So the first thing is incorrect information produced by the AI, which needs to be checked. But also hallucinations are related to the cost of use of AI, because it's not for free, right? You pay the monthly fee, but also you use the tokens. And, the tokens are not infinite. So once you reach the limit, you need to top it up and pay more. So you can imagine that when you ask the question to AI, like, let's generate an image. I don't like it. Can you change it? Can you change it again and again and again? So you might try 20, 50 times. You might reach your limit. You already paid $100 to use AI and you still don't have the desired output. So I think cost of AI is another thing to look for.
Absolutely. And I guess JLR being such a big organization, John, are there any kind of ethical or organizational issues that kind of need to be taken into account?
Yeah, so something super important, like in very early AI adoption, we all, outside of the business, we all heard stories of people, inputting embargoed information or even designs that, were not supposed to be shown yet. And that's, once it's in there, it's there forever. So there's, going back to the governance point, there's got to be a proper layer of human intervention to ensure that stuff like your IP, intellectual property, doesn't get misused. So from a JLR perspective, in our team in particular, a lot of our stuff is sort of like a walled garden. So it's all server based on site, so nothing can go outside from an IP point of view. So people are using that particular tool are sort of safe to sort of use it as they want, such as me.
Perfect. I actually just see that the countdown is
wow.
on.
Yeah, in red as well.
Yeah, so we're actually gone over. So unfortunately, we had way more to cover and loads more to talk about, but we're all around all day. So please come and find us afterwards. We won't keep you any more from lunch. So thank you so much for listening.